Welcome back to the Playdate by Freshly Picked. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Fifi.
And let's get into it. Let's talk.
Roll the tapes. What's the most embarrassing thing your kid has ever said loudly in public?
Oh, well, this happened this week. I can talk about this one.
Easy.
It is not true, first of all. But it was out loud to someone else. And then they told me. Heavy on the very much so not true.
Heavy on the falsities.
So my daughter, her imagination is actually so crazy. It's so beautiful, but it gets us into situations like this. So she had a play date with this friend last week, and they have a really fun house, like super, super fun. She had a blast, and she just loves going to other people's houses. And so whenever they bring her home, she talks about kind of how her house sucks, essentially. So
your house sucks.
Yeah. Right now it sucks. She's in that phase of loving everyone else's house. So that's okay. That's okay. I mean, she has 3 siblings at home. I get it. You don't want to have a play date there. But I was going to drive these 2 girls to a birthday party, and the mom pulls up with her daughter, and she's like, she was a little nervous to come because Stella told us that you sometimes lock her in the dungeon.
As her bedroom or?
No context. Just that we sometimes lock her in the dungeon. Mind you, I don't even put my kids in timeout.
Did she ask you, or did you ask her if she called CPS or what?
No, I know this mom. And she was laughing, and I was like, not true. And she was like, oh my gosh, I knew it wasn't true. She's so freaking funny. And I was like, hopefully she's so freaking funny. That's not funny to me. That's not funny to me after that documentary just came out recently. You know the one I'm talking about the safe room in the basement.
RF.
Yeah, RF. And so I was like, that is not funny. And so I was like, well, I'm so sorry. I promise. There will be no dungeons. She'll be totally fine. And she's like, oh my gosh, I know. I told her that. And so come in, the play date's going well. Afterwards, though, I'm like, we need to revisit this topic with my daughter. I'm like, so why'd you tell your friend that? And she's like, well, it was just make-believe.
Make-believe.
I'm like, you left that part out to the parents and your friend. So we had, we talked about make-believe is so great. But when we tell stories like that, then friends don't want to come over. And I know it's because she just at that time wanted to stay at her friend's house. Yeah. So she told her friend
don't make me go home. I'm going to go to the dungeon.
Literally the dungeon.
I probably would have said something like, oh, we just played Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my gosh. Well, we do play make-believe all the time, but there's no locking anyone in any dungeons.
Are you saying make-believe?
Yeah.
Leaf on the tree?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Why? Is it make-believe? Make-believe?
I don't know.
Sound off in the comments.
Make-believe. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just saying that because that's what she said. She said, Mom, it's just make-believe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I don't know.
Anyways, that was crazy to come out of her mouth.
Yeah. Let's not ever make that a thing ever again. I'm just
you never say that ever again.
My most embarrassing thing that my kid has ever said loudly in public, I feel like my kids are just curious, okay? And so a lot of the times, do they say embarrassing things that I wish I didn't have to address? Yes, but I have to because it's involving other people. And it's kind of so there was this guy at the park, and this one was a good learning experience. Did it embarrass me for a second? Yeah, because it was so out of pocket. We were freaking swinging. Oh, no. And then the next thing I know, there's this guy walking by, and he has a bit of a deformity, probably at birth, right? And it's just his arm. Everything's fine. He's playing pickleball just fine.
Yeah.
My son sees him, and the guy's walking by, and he's like, hi, waving with his arm, his good arm.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know why I felt the need to clarify that. Anyway, he's waving, and my son just looks, and he's turns to me and says it so loudly. He's like, Mom, what's wrong with his arm? Or something like that. I was like, what happened to his arm? Can't even remember what he said. But then the guy turned around, and I just looked at my son, and I was just like, why don't you ask him? I was like, let's ask him. And I just thought
I mean, you don't want to tell him the wrong thing.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought, I've seen that around like on a lot of other people's social media pages before where they're like, okay,
Just
like
ask.
somebody was like, what's like, why are they this way? Like, why is their hair that way? Like stuff like that, you know? And like, I just figured this was a great learning experience for my son to be like, oh, let's ask them, because these are things that somebody can't change about themselves,
Yeah.
you know? And so like my son was able to like ask me like, what happened to your arm? And like such a sweet guy. I don't even know how old he was. He was an older man, and he just like sat there and explained to my son why his arm wasn't like everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was great. But like other times they've done that, sometimes I just want to sweep it under the rug, to be honest, instead of having like to address it, because I'm like, some of these, again, like this person can't change it about themselves. And some of them is like, I don't know how else to phrase this. I'm sure people
But if you
can
don't teach
relate.
them to ask questions and to build connection with that person, how do they
Or view people differently.
Yeah.
Because like my son, again, another one, I freaking told you this one. But like the waiter didn't have the straightest teeth. And like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like it definitely is a privilege for people to have straight
For
teeth.
sure.
Like, holy crap. As an adult, I'm like, bruh, I could never give all 5 of my kids braces.
So
oh
expensive.
my gosh. So like, I completely understand that now. But as a child, I wouldn't have. So I give my kid is just curious. So he's like, kid, waiter's waiting on us. His teeth's not very straight. My kid turns to me while he's mid talking to this waiter and's like, why is his teeth like that? And at that moment, I'm not going to tell him, ask him. Like, oh gosh. Like, instead, and I'm not sure if anyone's like me, but I was just like, shh.
I know.
Like, I had to. That's not.
Because also you don't know if it's gonna,
later.
Yeah. You don't know if it's going to hurt their feelings.
Yeah. Like, at that point, I'm going to teach you later. But other times that they've said it about me, I'm totally fine with. Like, they tell people all the time they like my squishy stomach, and that I won't ever have a flat stomach like my sister-in-law. But you know what? I don't
Why
care.
do you have stripes? Yeah.
I have 5 kids.
Yep.
My sister-in-law has nothing. Like, no kids, okay? So, like, kudos to my stripes.
Yes, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, and she still said she loves it anyway.
She loves the squish.
Okay, we've got this question. What's been the hardest transition? Newborn to toddler, toddler to kid, or something else?
Ugh. Okay, I really struggle with the newborn to toddler phase because I have extremely good babies. Like, all my kids have been the best babies. I mean, one of mine struggled with sleeping, but like for the most part still, like, just so good. Like, it was amazing. I had the best experience. And then they turn 1 and I swear, I don't know what happens. They know they have a voice and they use it and they have so much energy. And I don't like saying that they're hard, but like that's the only way I can describe it is like I have really hard toddlers.
Yeah.
And so newborn to toddler, really hard for me.
Yeah. Well,
and then toddler to big kid, I feel like I only have one kid that's really done that transition. Like she's in elementary now. That was like the most beautiful, like gave me light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, oh, I have really energetic toddlers and that's okay. And it's a phase, but
yeah,
that's like, I high key, I dread the toddler phase.
Well, you said, I don't know how it got there, but they like found out they had a voice because you taught them that they have a voice.
Because I met their needs and I taught them they have a voice. They really use it from ages 2 to 4.
That's a great, healthy thing. Okay. So
Yes.
like it's funny because like we're kind of opposite in that where like I look forward to them becoming toddlers mostly because then they have a little bit more independency because they're literally on my hip and attached to me like 24/7. Like that's
a good flavor. I didn't breastfeed. I formula fed. And so I had breaks.
Yeah. See, like that, I was like, oh my gosh. And then when they became like, you know, they're toddlers now and they can walk, like it was so awesome for me to be able to be like, oh my gosh, they can venture off and not cry.
Yeah.
Like they can go and play. Like that was great for me. But I honestly think like every single stage has obviously like its pros and cons, like things that are hard and things that are really easy.
Yeah,
And it also depends on your kid because
for
like
sure.
my older kid right now, like I would definitely say he was much better as a toddler. Like honestly, send prayers. My
You have
name
to
is
have a lot
Fifi
of
Latier. You can include me
add her
by
to the
name.
add her to the prayer rule, please.
Because honestly, like it's only because he's like he's becoming more aware of everything he wants, what he like what he likes. Like
And you have to have
suddenly,
hard
yeah.
conversations when they're
Oh, for
kids.
sure. Like I have had so many hard conversations with
Yeah.
him. Like, and sometimes like I don't know, like you guys, we all parent differently, but I 100% like tie lessons to my kids every single time. So when he tells me like he has the worst day, I literally asked him, I was like, do you know how many people woke up in the world without food? I was like, do you know how many people woke up without a warm home? And then I was like, let's count the things that made today great already. And I was like,
He's like, nothing. I
was
can't
like,
find anything.
no, I know. At first he did, but I was like, oh, I found one. You woke up today. And then I was like, okay, next thing, you have a warm bed. And like, I tie it back to that. I'm like, I think it's good for him to know he's going to be turning 7. He's learning a lot about different countries and things. And it's good for him to know
Yeah.
that his reality isn't entirely what happens everywhere. And so like,
But you also validate like it feels like the worst day for him. So
was
you
like,
have a good balance
I know.
of
Yeah.
validating he still felt like he had the worst day.
I know. I was like, sorry you felt like today's the worst day, but I thought yesterday was. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I love you so much.
It really does vary very kid to kid.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, but it's good. I think it's great. Okay, I'm going to ask you one question. Just a surprise little question.
Okay, let's
as we
hear
get
it.
ready to close out. I want to know what is, if you can have your mom mantra for this year, what would it be? Mom mantra for 2025.
Mom mantra. Okay.
Sorry, I sprung this on you.
It's okay. I love the phrase. I'm going to say it wrong. Wherever you are, be all there.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, wherever you are, yeah, be all the way there. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be present.
And actually, it's so funny because when we went to that first event with Freshly Picked like a few years ago, I remember asking like Susan, the owner, what her, or maybe you asked her, but I was there, like what her advice was. And she was like, be 100% wherever you are. When you're with your mom, when you're momming, like 100% in. When you're at work, 100% in.
Yeah.
You can't really be like 50-50 places. And like, unfortunately, in this phase of life and economy, I have to be a working mom. Like, would I love to spend every second like at home with them? Yes, I would, but like that's just not my reality right now. And
Yeah.
so I want to step out of like mom guilt. And so wherever I am, be all there. When I'm at work, like you're going to get the best employee, the best Sarah I can be in that moment. And then when I'm home, like, and it's after hours, like I'm with my kids. I'm with my kids. If it's not a prior commitment, I'm going to be all there. And because sometimes I find like when I'm done with the workday, I want to like escape a little bit still.
Yeah.
I like want to read a book or I want to watch a show or I just want no one to bug me. And I'm like, no, you got to be all here. Like they go to bed in 2 hours. Let's just crank it out. Let's be all here. So I think that's my mantra. And it's not something I'm super good at because one, I don't like, I'm not really good at playing with my kids. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like I have to really practice to sit down and like play with them. I don't love games. I don't love like I just have never been like that. And so it's really hard for me to like be present with my kids when I don't know how to play with them. And so that's something I'm working on. So I just like the idea of being present. Like wherever I am, I'm going to be all there. I'm going to trust that the people that I have like taking care of my kids are doing the right thing and that like I'm utilizing my village when I need to.
Yeah.
And then when I'm home, I'm mom and I'm 100% there.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
What's yours?
dang it.
I'm springing it back on you.
Okay. Let me think of my mantra.
But then I have a surprise closing too.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. My mom mantra. I would probably have to say, geez, I don't even know right now.
You can get back to us. You can always use your good words and pass.
I'll have to get back to you next time.
Okay, but for the moms out there that are looking to escape a little bit, they need some self-care or they need like something to dive into. You have any books, any shows? What are you loving right now?
Oh, yeah. I am reading, or I just finished the little saga of Abby
I already know.
Jimenez. I freaking love that book, but it was Part of Your World and yours
So
truly.
good.
Holy cow. Part of Your World is living in my mind rent free. I finished it 2 weeks ago, but I freaking love it so much.
It's so good. I finished it last night.
Yes, I love it. So use that for a little bit of soul care.
Any shows?
Any shows? No, because I'm just reading.
Just reading.
But I do hear a lot of people are really loving Severance
Yeah.
and Silo. So go ahead and watch that. But
Traders just finished.
Yes.
That was a good season.
It was. I actually have to go watch the last episode, but that's what I'll be doing tonight is reading.
Nice.
And watching the last episode of Traders.
Love it.
I know. So we are closing out. Again, I'm Fifi.
I'm Sarah.
And wherever you are, be all there.
Bye.